So we're here on the 100th episode of the podcast, which I guess is somewhat, of an early milestone to go from 0 to 100.
Is this
in the time
now
that
where
we
I can
have.
ask you some questions and turn the tables?
Yeah. Well, so I have this Radio DePaul mug. Joe and I used to be co-hosts of a show called The Afternoon Snack with Rich and Joe. And it's my mom calling me.
Do we have a caller on the podcast?
Yeah, I'm supposed to go up to Wisconsin and tomorrow I help out on the farm a little bit, but it might be a little rainy, so we're feeling it out. Back to The Afternoon Snack with Rich and Joe. We used to have this show where we'd play songs from whatever decade. We kind of like come in talking about our weekend, what song kind of embodies your last week, and we would have certain sections like Bieber talk and would you rather, just staples of the show. And I'm curious what recently would be the song that you would play to like embody the last week or month or even maybe the last year.
Yeah. I more recent. I was introduced to this like French, like new wave disco soul funk band by actually an old friend of mine from the DePaul days, Brandon Loro. Maybe you met him. He was an old DMAC guy. But he came over and we kind of had like a mini reunion, him, Brandon, and then Kevin Tracy. And he introduced me to this, cool French group called, what's the name of them? Panche, Panache. But they came out with an EP that's like super funky and fun. I feel like you would really dig them, Rich.
I'm really into like new disco. Psychedelic disco is a genre that I've seen.
Yeah. But like sexy French girl singing and dancing, and just like as soon as you turn it on, you just like start vibing and like
what's it called? Pants?
I'm probably butchering the name because I'm a white guy from the Midwest. Panche, Panache. Panache. That's it. I didn't see the other C there. But I would play something from them for sure. Just like, I feel like that'd be right up the afternoon snack alley too. I feel like we were always playing like more like poppy and like fun and
upbeat.
Just like feel good music. Yeah, upbeat. And they have like a cool album art as well. It's like,
I'm looking at the pink and
like really abstract and just funky. And I've been listening to that. I think it's only an EP, so I'm really excited for like the full album to come out. But it's just a nice little quick hit. And as soon as you turn it on at a party or even just like with a small group of friends, you're just gonna like start vibing really, really quickly.
Yeah, lately, well, I'm a big Miami horror. I got really into Tame Impala this early year.
Yeah,
I listened to the Slow Rush like every day. I bought it on vinyl, so now I listen to it on vinyl too. Now that like summer's coming up, Poolside is great. Parcells a little bit. I'm looking at my Justina Wynn, who was on the show recently. A lot of music I get from her. We kind of have similar tastes in music, and she DJs. So she's very specific in her like curation of her sets and everything. And she introduced me to Polo and Pan, La Imperatrice. It's like a French group house kind of vibey. I love a lot of their songs. It's really cool. I'd play one of those then. So
nice.
Bieber talk.
Honestly,
I mean,
what?
Go ahead.
No, it's just crazy that he's still so relevant. Like he
was so big though.
He was, and he still is. Like with his new stuff. I mean, I kind of dig it. Like
I really haven't listened to much of his new stuff at all.
It's catchy. It's great pop songs like Peaches. I think that's the name of it. Like really catchy, really good pop tune, and he sounds good too. Like I feel like his voice has gotten a little bit better, and he's gotten more sure of himself and like his tone and his range. He like knows what works and what doesn't work. And yeah, he's married now. He
Can you okay, think about this. We
What?
were doing the show as college kids. We were like 22, we're 21, 22. We're talking about this like 16-year-old who's coming up. So every week we're doing Bieber talk, like what's going on with like this phenomenon that's Justin Bieber, right? So we're growing. And can you imagine, like, he's married before both of us. He's like, you know, it's just so interesting.
It's also crazy that we actually did. I mean, it wasn't like a pre-programmed thing. Like one day we just started talking about it, and then the next week we talked about it, and then just kind of naturally became a thing that was just kind of like an inside joke. And then we just kind of grew with it and went with it. But yeah, he's just as relevant today as he was 10 years ago. So props to him and his team for staying relevant and turning out like good hits. Like I don't think he'd be as relevant if people didn't like his music. And I know like the pop industry like shoves music down people's throats, but there have been a lot of people that have come and gone, and he's stuck with it. So shout out to Justin Bieber, longtime listener of the Afternoon Snack, and I'm sure he transitioned into rich conversations.
Yes, I'm sure he has. So we used to do the segment called Would You Rather. And so I have a question for you. A would you rather question.
You have a would you rather?
Yeah. Would you rather experience life on this like social distancing, masks, everything on lockdown, then it's not on lockdown type of thing for the next 5 years, but you get to host Saturday Night Live after those 5 years, or you have to move out of New York and you cannot visit New York for the next 10 years.
I have to move out of New York and I can't visit for 10 years.
Yeah.
Whew, this is a good one. I can tell some thought went into this. I mean, I have to go with the. That's so selfish though. Like if I choose, like we have to be socially distanced for 5 years, just so I can fulfill my dream as a SNL host. I mean, that's the one that I want to say, but it's terrible for me to say because that means we have to like live with this for the next 5 years. But like no one would like die, right, from like COVID. We would just have to like live socially distanced and things like that, right?
Right. Let's do that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like that's probably the truth. Like I would do that and then be able to host SNL.
Nice.
That's the dream. It's crazy how that's like the literal dream. Like I've had dreams where I've hosted SNL.
Wow.
And I like freak out because I forget my monologue or like I miss a beat or a thing.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is those dreams have been so what's it called when they're like so real, like a lucid dream?
Okay.
Right? Is that sure. Like what it's called?
I hear like lucid dreams thrown around, but I don't know exactly what that means.
Okay.
I don't remember my dreams much, or I don't dream much, sort of.
Every now and again I remember them, but I know I've remembered like I've had a couple. I wouldn't call it a reoccurring, but I've definitely dreamt about being at SNL and hosting it to a point where I've woken up and the memories and the feelings of hosting have felt so real that I like in my mind, like I've had those feelings before. So like I know what it like feels like.
Wow.
Because I've like mentally experienced it, but not physically. So not to go down like a crazy rabbit hole, but like if you dream something so vividly and you have feelings of having done that, like, because that's like really like what an experience is just like the feeling of it. But like if you can mentally experience something, like do you physically need to? Right. So kind of like virtual reality or like Total Recall, pick your metaphor or pick your whatever, your sci-fi fantasy, which is crazy to think about. Like, do I need to like host SNL if I've like kind of like not done it, but like I've felt that like in my dreams. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously I would love to do it. So that would be, I'd want to host it. But have you ever like dreamt something and it felt so real that you now have a feeling, what that feels like because your mind tricked you into that experience or tricked you into that? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a lot of dreams when I sleep.
We just don't remember.
And I don't really remember them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have dreams about dinosaurs every April, which is strange. Ever since I was a kid, I've had like dreams with dinosaurs in them, often nightmares, since I was a kid, every April. I don't know why.
Whoa.
Yeah. Something actually, I was looking at something the other day, and there are a few things we still don't know as humans. We don't know why we dream, and like if there's any meaning behind them. We also don't know why we need sleep. We know we need it, but we don't actually know why we need it. Yeah. So we haven't figured out those specific two questions yet.
So why we need sleep seems like a big question. I feel like we would have figured that out by now.
You would think this is like the $1 trillion idea, or if it can be executed or something. We spend on average like 8 hours of sleep in a day.
Yeah.
8 hours sleeping, right?
Yeah.
So then over a lifetime, say 90 years, that's 30 years.
Yeah.
What if you can produce the effects of sleeping, but condense the amount of time?
Yeah, to like 10, 15 minutes.
So like whether it's one of those like cryogenic like things that you go into, or like a pill, or I don't know, but I mean that's something that would change humanity.
If you're able to solve that problem, you're essentially adding 30 years to your life.
Exactly.
Which is crazy. I think a lot more people are figuring out how to stop aging. From what I've been reading, I think a lot of the tech bros, people out in SF, are trying to figure out aging and a cure for it.
Biotech revolutions, that's what's happening now. We're getting beyond the point of wars and disease and famine. Now we want to live healthier, longer, happier, healthier, longer, happier. Yeah. There you go.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Mm-hmm. Would you rather?
Okay.
I wrote it down. Okay. Would you rather only be able to listen to the Beatles forever, no other music?
Okay.
Or only be able to read books that you've already read? So you couldn't read new books and you couldn't listen to any new music besides the Beatles.
Okay, so I could only listen to the Beatles, or I couldn't read any new books.
Yeah.
I'll go with the Beatles for sure. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I probably listen to the Beatles. It's probably like over 50% of the music I listen to anyways.
Got it.
Why do I need to listen to new music when I can just listen to the greatest band of all time? All the time.
That's fair.
But I want to keep gaining knowledge through books. I haven't read enough books to be satisfied yet.
Yeah.
That
was a lot easier than I thought. When I wrote that, when I wrote that down, I thought it was a lot more. It was going to be a lot more challenging. Also, when you framed the segment to the listeners, you made it seem like we came up with the concept of like a would you rather. You're like, oh, we did this segment called Would You Rather. It's more so we just asked would you rather questions.
Right.
It wasn't this like this unique.
I have this groundbreaking idea. It's called Would
I'm
You
gonna ask
Rather.
you, would you rather do this or would you rather do that? We're gonna call it the Would You Rather segment. It worked though. It was fun.
It was fun. It was fun.